Okay, guys, welcome back to the second episode of FEA podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about games that we would like to either see made from scratch or remastered or remake that they seem to be doing nowadays as well. So, basically, in the context of if you had all the money in the world and all the developers in the world, what kind of game would you want to see made? Yeah, where do you want to start? Do you want to go first?
Firstly, before we get into the juicy part of this podcast, um, we have a date for the PS5 reveal event. Like,
Finally, cannot wait.
so that's going to be tomorrow. I'm going to get this uploaded on Wednesday. Thursday, we are going to be live streaming the event. Feel free to join us if you would like. We're going to have our reactions. We're going to do a little pre-show on our last podcast, what we predicted, what we'd like to see. Yeah, come along, join us for the event. I cannot wait. The fact that they've announced in their tweet that it's 1080p and 30 frames per second says to me there's going to be games. And that is the one thing that we said in the last podcast episode. Give us games, Sony. Give
Yeah,
us games. Come
just
on.
unload all the games on me, Sony. I'm ready for it.
Right, so anyway, going into today's topic.
Jump in,
Um,
bud. You go first.
Game ideas. So I have a friend in the game and developing world, um, and I'd previously discussed with him sort of as a learning curve for me, really, developing a game, and it never got started. But I built a concept of the idea. So the idea was a simple tower defense game. You have a little workshop where you have a couple of people who help you, maybe a couple of droids, something around that. This is just a sort of
Suppose it would depend on your theme, wouldn't it?
yeah, right.
Like whatever type of game you're going
It
for.
depends on where
The
I
setting.
get to and all of that, but you'd have a um, so a tower defense against some overlord who's trying to finish taking over the planet, and you're the last. Your typical last person
Yeah.
storyline kind of
You're the
thing.
last hope.
Yeah, exactly that. And it's based in a forest. This forest like dying. There's corruption in there, and he sends his forces down these different lanes to you, to try and take out you and your workshop. Um, you'll be doing research, um, developing different weapons. So like you'd start off with, a bow trap shooter,
Mhm.
something along them lines. Gradually building up to your researchers when your collectors go out scavenging and stuff. They possibly find like a crystal of some sort, like an ice or a fire, and you learn to infuse that into your weapons. So turning the simple bow and arrow into a fire arrow,
Yeah.
um,
Like
that's
an ice one that'll
generated.
slow them down as they're coming through.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of, I guess, Plants vs Zombie esque,
Yeah.
like the original Plants vs Zombie esque,
Oh, mate. I used to
but
love that.
from like a isometric view. So you're hovering over, you can scroll across. It takes time for you to set these things up. You got a certain amount of time between the waves that would be
Yeah.
invisible. There wouldn't sort of be any visual that you're getting attacked, because I feel like that would have been too easy. If you're getting ready to be attacked, you got to count down to 10 seconds. Ooh,
Yeah.
better run back to my house and be set. Add a bit of add a little something to it. Yeah, that was one that I spoke around probably about 3 years ago, and it just
Mm.
never happened. It's something that I wouldn't mind picking up, but the learning curve for to develop a game like that,
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't look into it enough, but I had the concept idea. It's something that I might roll with in the future, but that's one of my little design ideas that I had, um, at
I
some
think that
point.
could be a good idea because like there seemed to have been like a phase of tower defense games where there was just loads of them and they were just anything, weren't they? But now it's kind of dropped off a bit, and you've still got your Bloons tower defense, which every now and then I'll go back to like hardcore. Um, but I think now there's definitely space for it because
Mm,
it's chill, isn't it? I like a good tower defense game. You just put your feet up on your phone even and just
yeah.
sit back and kill an hour or two doing it
I'm
when
a
I'm not
I'm
bored.
a I'm a sucker for the RPGs and stuff, so that's why I thought about the sort
Falls
of
like right in between
crystals.
it.
Yeah, it's a basic concept with RPG elements, um, sort of progression and skill unlocks, and it's just a different take on a power defense, tower defense.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my first idea. What have you got? What have you thought of? What are
Well,
your hopes and dreams, bud?
oh, I've got so many hopes and dreams, but the trouble is when I was writing my notes down, I was trying so hard to try and stay away from open world because I love open world games. So when I'm trying to think of games that I want to see, I don't want to just focus on, well, we'll have this open world and we'll have that open.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
um I've got a few, not really as in depth as what you just went through, but the
But
first thing on the
like I
list.
said, this got to like me actually planning what some of the weapons and the upgrades would look like and stuff. So
Mhm.
this was
It's
something that
definitely something that you should look at,
I spent
definitely.
a bit of time on, but not enough to
Yeah.
kickstart it.
Well, the first thing that I put on my list, I was trying to think of types of games that I've really enjoyed apart from open world ones. And the first thing that popped in my head is one of my favorite single player games is Batman Arkham Asylum. So the very first one. And the thing that I like about that game is it's open world, but it's very linear. So, you're refined to what was just Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
You were free to move around it as you wanted to, but it kept you quite restricted on where you could go. So
Hmm.
you couldn't go one way until you'd been the other and done something there.
Yeah.
And a game like that, I was trying to think like who, if I wanted a game like that, who could it be based around or whatever. But I think that kind of game's set up for like a dark theme, kind of like the Batman Arkham series
Yeah.
is.
Shout
But
out
I'd
to
love
that
to see
series, by the way. That series is
Unreal,
incredible.
yeah.
Like,
But I have to say,
oh,
Arkham Asylum is my favorite out,
yeah.
even though it's the smallest. Um, by far my favorite. But I just don't know. I was trying to think of like different characters that would be good for that kind of setting and where it would be and what it would be, but I just couldn't think of anything. But I'd like to see more games that were like that, where they are not like the expanse of like an Assassin's Creed, where you've got this huge map that you'll spend like 200-300 hours trying to get around, and rather something a bit more smaller but way more detail built into it. I think that's something that we need to see a bit more of for sure.
Nice, I like it. I suppose going on sort of our survival side of things that we enjoy playing as well. You could take that down. There's many roads that could go down. That could go down. Oh, yeah, you've left that really open. It depends on the world whether you want to build a full ecosystem
Hmm.
or whether you want it to be based on like Batman. You've got all of the villains already
Yeah,
pre-made. You don't have to think of any new concepts up, or whether you're going for like that new IP
yeah,
kind of thing. I
yeah,
guess it's a good idea. I'm thinking
yeah,
like that sort of game on like a giant spaceship or something where
yeah,
that you've got to
yeah.
explore
Exactly.
a giant colony, like lunar
To say like you
colony.
wake up out of a cryopod on a big spaceship or something like that.
Cliche as hell, but
Exactly. That's why I was like, I was trying to think of something that would be fresh, but I'm just all out of it. I just like that style of game, and that was
yeah,
that was the point of it. Was I want to see more games with that kind of style for sure.
yeah. So one thing I was thinking about from our last podcast, um, we've played a bit of Borderlands 2 since then as well. Um, I am a sucker for the looter shooters. Destiny 2 have just announced their next 3 years, and I'm fanboying inside. And I, as soon as I saw the video, I wanted to jump back in. But
So
I
what's
had
keeping you off Destiny at the moment then? Because I was surprised when you said that you're excited for it, and I've not seen you. You've never mentioned it or played it since we've
I
been
don't know the
talking.
people on PC really. Like if
Yeah,
people played it on PC, I'd be on it.
yeah.
Oh, I Destiny 2 was worse than Destiny 1, yet I've sunk 200 more hours into Destiny 2 versus Destiny 1. Like it's just it's a I don't know, just a sucker for the loot, man. I love that loot.
Yeah, little loot
Give
gobbler.
me that loot. um yeah, so I had going on the loot shooter theme, um and enjoying MMOs that I have in the past. Elder Scrolls, I put 500 odd hours in about 4 months. I think it was like it was
Yeah,
just relentless. I would finish work, go home, load up Elder Scrolls Online, pump the hours in, go to bed, go to work, come home,
same thing again. Rinse and
just
repeat.
on rinse and repeat. And I sunk so many hours into that game. WoW, I've got 9 characters or something. None of them top level yet, but I've started that many different characters. Um, So one thing that I'd love to see in a game, and um, there was a streamer, King Gathalion. He actually tweeted out about this probably a few months ago now. I don't know. Times, it's like we're in
It's
some
just a blur.
time suction at the minute. It's insane. It's probably a couple of months ago. He has also shown an interest towards this, and it'd be a looter shooter. So your Destiny, but actually MMO RPG style. So, like, take WoW's class systems and their open world, obviously. Um, but that kind of thing, how you'd get the balance, I don't know. Can you use weapons in an MMO like that from range? If you've got a sniper, you could sit on top of Ogrimmar and shoot down on. It's just
Yeah,
how it would work would be difficult just because of the way that MMOs work, how guns work, how firearms work. But it is something that I'd love to see. I'd love to see a not something like Warframe because that's been Warframe's been done. Weren't a fan. Didn't enjoy it. I know there are loads of people that do. As I said in my last podcast, can't stand it. That's not for me. That's not an MMO again. That's too linear.
yeah,
I'm on about like a full scale MMO. Go where you want, shoot what you want,
yeah.
level up. Just yeah, that's another one that I would very much like to see. Um, I can't see it happening. I can't think of a
Yeah,
game that's tried it. Destiny 2 claimed they were an MMO when it was released, but it's not. Yeah, they've got their open worlds, but they're all set instances.
yeah,
I'm talking
yeah.
like
It's not.
you
It's
can
not
see,
truly open world, is
yeah,
it?
you can see thousands of people, and you can do level 5 quests, and you'll see someone, and then when you're level 8 or 9, they'll be level 8 or 9, and you'll still be like questing in a similar area than them. So
So
yeah,
basically, what you want is WoW and Destiny to have a baby.
yeah,
It doesn't
Desti
get any more
wow,
simple than that, does it?
Desti wow. That's yeah.
World of Destiny. But no, I think that kind of game would definitely attract a massive crowd. But like I say, it would be the difficulty in what you would do with the weapons. But then when you think of a looter shooter, you think to guns, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that, does it? You can still have your tanks that use melee weapons, and you can have your healers that use healing staffs, and all this stuff can be picked up from boxes that are found around the map, things like
Yeah,
that. So
exactly.
I think if the right studio picked it up, it could definitely be done. It could be done well, and it could work for sure.
It's just the time and effort that kind of game would take. I
Oh
mean, you
yeah,
look at WoW.
years,
WoW's what 20 years? WoW it's been out more than that, maybe.
something like
Like
that.
that is just, and that has been since that game released. That has been pretty much, apart from WoW Classic, that has been all they've had to focus on, and
Hmm.
that's where they've put all their resources, all the money that they ever make. They must pump back into that game,
Yeah,
and I don't know whether that's something that anyone would want to spend money on and be able to do it effectively.
yeah, yeah. Um, so next one I've got on my list is, well, not the next one, but the next one I'm going to talk about is just a modern day shooter. Like, I don't know, I specifically wrote this game down. Did you ever play Ghost Recon Future Soldier?
Yes, me and a friend absolutely slapped on that game.
So
Loved it.
I would,
Loved it.
yeah, I'd love to see a game like that again, where it was like, I say modern and it's called Future Soldier, but it was a very modern game.
Yeah.
They just had like a few little tech things that were different because they were the ghosts, weren't they?
Hmm.
So I would absolutely adore another game like that, even if they just remade it, even if they just remastered it. Like something like that is well needed right now because I think shooter games are struggling a little bit where they're trying to pluck their ideas from. And it's like we start off in like World War One and Two, and the Cold War and things
Yeah.
like that, and then we've gone all the way up the other end. We're in space and we're flying spaceships and stuff. But the modern era has kind of just gone under the radar, and I always think that Battlefield did that best. Um, Battlefield 3 and 4, like by far one of my favorite multiplayer FPS games. Even their single player campaigns are really. Um, but even they drifted away from it and went to World War Two and then World War One.
Yeah.
And I think it would be good to come back to a modern era, but it doesn't necessarily have to just be just focus on the multiplayer. Like something with a good story, which is basically the bulk of my list here is just story games.
Yeah.
Um, Something with a good story could be infinitely multiple times better than a multiplayer game for sure. But Ghost Recon Future Soldier just popped into my head and was like, I need to either see if I can get it somewhere or we need to remake it
I
soon.
I need some of that in my life. Yeah, for
Definitely.
sure. That game, I again, that's one that I pumped hours into, and it weren't very popular at all.
No.
I don't remember any one of my friends list apart from me and my mate playing it. And we absolutely loved it. That third person view
Hmm.
was just, it was different. It weren't. I'm right in saying you could then go into first person when you're like sniping and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that kind of view, yeah. I've always been a third person fan.
Mm.
Even when COD done it, I was a fan of that. Enjoyed it, played it just as much as the first person. But again, Call of Duty and their fans don't really enjoy anything other than FPS and
You
shooty bang bang.
can't stray off the line with Call of Duty.
Exactly, yeah, yeah. Otherwise, there'll be backlash and uproar, and yeah. Sticking with that style of game, Sock'em Confrontation remastered, or another Sock'em game. Um,
Never heard of it.
you've never heard, right? Okay,
Are they like the XCOM games?
no,
Oh,
no.
that's just
There's
what popped into my head.
similar to Ghost Recon.
Okay.
In fact, your third person, um, like over the shoulder view again. As soon as you aim down a scope, you go into first person.
Hmm.
Me and the same friend that played Future Soldier, we got into it competitively as well, um, to a fairly good level. But again, the game didn't hold out in the market. It was such a good game, and they had a couple of bugs, few bugs, and because it weren't fixed and clean at the get go, everybody just gave up on it straight away.
Yeah.
I stuck with it. I learnt the maps inside out. Like I knew every grenade spot. I knew the whole lot about these maps. played it to a good level. Um, it was the satisfaction of getting a headshot from zooming in, seeing someone off in the distance, going straight down sights, bang. Like, it was just satisfying to play, and the controls were so smooth as well. There was so much you could do in there. But like, you know how obvious claymores are in games now. These
Mhm.
weren't obvious at all. These were very subtle. Like the
Yeah.
game was very much, as you asked for, like a modern take on a shooter game. Um, so the colors were like quite gritty, and it was quite a
Yeah.
dark, plain game. Um, so the claymores, when they were set, you had the smallest little lasers poking out ever. So you could just see it if you were on the other team, but you were that focused on keeping level headed
Yeah.
that you'd just miss it.
Yeah. You're just not looking at your feet.
Yeah, and you'd know that it was one of them games where you knew if you got killed, it was skill. It weren't ping or lag
Bullshit.
or latency or
Yeah. Or any
server
other
startup.
excuse
You know, any
you can think
excuse that
of.
we come up with, yeah. Um, that look at some gameplay afterwards. That's yeah. Have a look
Oh.
at it. Um, I loved it. I spent hours on it again. That was when I was doing my exams and stuff. Uh, so they suffered a bit, but I had a good time.
Worth it. So, hmm, what one do I want to mention next? I was listening to a podcast earlier when I was walking the dog, and they were talking about different types of games and what. And it made me realize that we really need a good Need for Speed. Like, they've not made a good Need for Speed game for a very long time, and for me, with the racing type of game, it's like I don't like the standard races, so like
No.
Gran Turismo, things like that. They're boring to me. When I had my 360 and Forza Horizon 1 came out, absolutely loved it. Open world racing game.
Yeah.
Like, can go wrong with it. Um, but yeah, there's just not been they've just been pumping out all these Need for Speeds and none of them have been as good as like the Underground
Underground
2
2. Oh.
and even what was it? Need for Speed Carbon, where you're like drifting around the mountains and things like that. There's just not
Yeah.
been any like that for a long time. But the podcast I was listening to, they mentioned that the developers changed, but it's now changed back to the guys that made the good ones.
Oh, okay.
And they are working on a new Need for Speed. So hopefully
I
we
was going to
might actually get
mention
one that's good.
there's an article going about the next Need for Speed.
Oh,
Um,
is there?
yeah, I will drop it in the description. And obviously I'll send it across to you as well so you can
Yeah.
give it a look.
Cool.
NFS. Just jot this down quickly, otherwise I will forget.
Yeah.
My old
It's like an
Civ
empty
brain.
description.
Yeah. Need for Speed article. Yeah, that'll do.
But I think just quickly, part of the thing that makes those games is the music.
Yeah.
Underground 2's music was just phenomenal. And the fact that you could buy, was it a Corsa? They had something really basic, but you could put like a boot build in it. Have this massive subsystem in the back of your car
Yeah.
that you'd never see because you don't open your boot when you're racing. But the music was just phenomenal. Loved
Yeah.
it.
Music was good. Music was good. I can't even think of any that would have touched on that feeling of Need for Speed Underground 2. Maybe Vice City, GTA Vice City's
Oh
soundtrack was
yeah,
really good.
definitely.
And
That's
there was some classic songs on that
I
soundtrack. Like
was yeah.
no kidding,
With
that
all
was some very good.
the whole GTA rumor that's going around with them going back to Vice City. I do kind of hope they do. But then I also hope that they don't go back and make it modern day because I want that music again. Like if you're
Yeah.
going back to Vice City, redo the story or something, but just take me back to that era because I've never even had that much of an interest in that music, but just playing that game with that music was just amazing.
It just felt right.
Yeah, definitely.
It just felt right. Like you're in Vice City, sun shining most of the time, unless it's raining, obviously. Sun
Yeah,
shining. You got them songs playing, and it just everything just seemed to mold, and it was just
yeah,
yeah, it just gave you that experience that you were somewhere else. You were in that sort of moment in time.
definitely.
Um, yeah, yeah. Apart from that, I mean, soundtracks. You look at soundtracks now, and they're all instrumental. There's not any
Hmm.
sort of full songs. Obviously, you got GTA; they always deliver on the songs and stuff. But
Yeah,
it's yeah, for me, Vice City was one of my favorite, if not my
definitely.
favorite GTA soundtrack for
I
sure,
agree.
for sure. Um, so another one I'm going on, sort of, I guess is it a, mm, a tangent to what I said before, parallel to what I said before with regards to like the MMO shooty shooty bang bang, you know. So my idea is you have so a few years ago when Fortnite was big, there was rumors that they were going to do like a hub, and from that hub you'd be able to access to save the world, which was the single player side of things. In that same hub, you'd be able to talk to your friends and stuff, but then you could also queue up for a a bit like queuing up for a dungeon. You'd be able to queue up to go play their battle royale.
Right.
So take this central hub where it could be a city, it could be in an instance like Destiny is now. You take that little hub, you've got little either gateways or desks that you can sign up for. So you earn credits through general tasks, I guess, normal missions, PVE missions, PvP missions, whatever it
Hmm.
might be. Go and get a bounty from this, like a bounty board for a player or something. So it's all PvP. Um, Obviously, there's limitations to that. Like the hub, you can't fight in, but as soon
Yeah,
as you step outside the hub, a bit like Deadside with their safe zone kind of
with the
thing.
protected areas.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course. Um, then you'd in this central hub, you'd have either a ticket booth, a desk, um, something like that, and then you've also got like a casino area. Casino area. Let's go casino area. In that casino area, you can see a um, live feed of the potential battle royale, or if it's like teams against each other, the 4v4, you can see a live feed of that from like set cameras in the arena that they're fighting in.
yeah,
And then you can bet on who you think is going to be top. So
that'd be pretty
obviously,
good.
the highest player or the player with the highest item level are going to be really poor odds. But there is that chance that if two or three decide to gang up and go against him, that player's going to lose,
Hmm.
and someone at the bottom could potentially go and take that. So you put odds on whatever the odds might be, 300 to 1. You put 1,000 credits on or something, you get 300,000 back.
Yeah,
So that central hub idea would be you can sign up for a battle royale where either the top person or there's a special weapon that you can get from it if you win, because A, B, or C. That's what the game masters want, or sort of
yeah,
Hunger Games style, if you like.
yeah,
Um, yeah, and then you go into the battle royale, or you can ignore the battle royale. You could go off and do your PVE stuff. It gives the player a chance to do what they want to do,
yeah.
um, instead of Fortnite that is single player battle royale. There's no crossing the two really,
No,
and but I mean, like, yeah, the problem with that is you've got it's gambling because it's in game, but if you're earning the in-game credits, a bit like GTA, does it
it's not
cross
a
the line?
problem. And the
It's
thing is,
one of
GTA is
them.
an 18 anyway, so
Well, yeah, yeah,
I think
but yeah, that's one that
it's
I've thought of.
it's a good idea because it, like you say, it doesn't keep the game modes separate. Like every game that you'll ever play, like your Call of Duty, you load it up, you've got single player, multiplayer, zombie. It's a good way to kind of bring all of the modes together rather than loading into a main menu. You just load straight into this hub and you're there. Go and do what you want there. I feel like that could be a thing in the future.
Mm,
Um, because I can't see why it'd be that hard to do.
no.
The only thing that would be difficult would be the live feed of like running games. But even then, if they didn't want to do that, they could just run fake ones
Yeah,
or run old ones,
yeah,
and you just
yeah.
bet on an old one. So something like that could definitely work. And I do think in the future, I don't know how far ahead, but I think main menus might well become a thing of the past, and they maybe have something like
So yeah, but just on an expansion that is like a signature weapon. So there's, someone names their sword. So why should that person be the only one that gets to use that sword? So you can name your
Mhm.
sword, you can upgrade it however you might be, or weapon, or whatever it might be. Upgrade it what you can, give it its own name, and then this weapon has killed however many people it might be. Um, it's got this many kills on a skill counter. It's got this skin on it because he's earned loads of stickers and customized it and whatever. Um, your bounty is to go get this, and this player will give you 500 million credits.
Yeah,
So you've got these, like, I want to say pinnacle weapons. So they're like weapons that have they grow legend around them.
yeah,
Because take WoW for example, you've got best in slot weapons where there's a chance that they'll drop in a raid. Well, imagine being told, guess what? If you go and get this person, whilst he's got this weapon on him, you will get that weapon and it is worth this much money.
yeah,
You can either cash that money in or you can keep it and build on that legend and build the story on top of that weapon.
yeah,
So this
yeah,
weapon's been to this person and he took down an elder dragon in here. He then lost it to this person in a dungeon. A PvE pirate killed him here, and he dropped
yeah,
this legendary weapon. You happen to pick it up in the sea, and then the legend continues. I just weapons are too samey, I think, is what I'm getting at.
yeah. Like any game, it's just a weapon is a weapon.
Yeah, right. You
Um,
can customize it as much as you want, but somebody else is going to have that customization. You set a name to it. Nobody else has got that weapon. That's
yeah, and think like
something.
if it was in a game that had like a battle royale, for example, what would be cool is if when you load it in, you know how like Apex has I forget what it's called, but it's like the King squad who won their last game and it always
Yeah,
shows you
yeah.
at the start.
Mhm.
Well, it'd be good if it loaded up and there's this player there holding this massive gun, and they're like, telling you that this gun is going to be in this game. Should
Yeah,
you find the person that's got it, it's yours.
yeah.
Um, could be pretty good.
Proximity chat would need to be used as well. Proximity chat
Oh
would be
yeah,
so good again. Like, yo, you see this guy? Should we team up and we'll half the
yeah.
money? And then you've got that thing of you could team up, take him out, grab the
Or shoot
weapon,
them in the back when you get it.
and then you get shot in the back. Or
Yeah.
yeah, it's just
Imagine how frustrating that'd be,
it'd be frustrating.
though.
But could you imagine the thrill of that hunt?
Yeah,
Like, oh, you're chasing this guy down across a massive battle royale area.
yeah.
It just yeah.
I think it would have to be done like a game like Tarkov would be able to pull that off.
Hmm.
So you're loading into custom. Then while you're loading in, it says, by the way, Marcus is in the game and he's got this gold sniper, that's worth this much money.
Yeah.
What? But then if you go into the game and you're the featured person, say you have to get to a certain point, pick up a certain object, and get out, and you get bonus money for it.
Yeah.
All the while you've got this target on your head because
Yeah.
people are looking for your gun. I think that would be a pretty cool idea, to be honest. And featured in a game like Tarkov, it's not really changing much of the actual gameplay itself because you're still running the risk of losing your stuff regardless, aren't
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's got to
you? Yeah, I
be
like that.
there've got to be that risk and reward value for
Hmm.
everyone that goes in. So if you're a little level 2, your reward is that you could end up with 500 million credits.
Yeah.
Your risk is that you're going to lose some of your starting gear and you're going to have to go into the next one with a pistol,
Yeah.
or or even like have a rental booth. So I want to rent for this game. I want to rent this pistol and this SMG for
Hmm.
4,000 credits. So it's not going to be very good, but you've got that chance to make so much more money and make bank. Like, yeah, that's one that I'll be honest. That's one that I got that idea from was through Sword Art Online, the anime, where
Right.
they do something called Gun Gale Online, and that's sort of a battle royale with named weapons and stuff. But just to have that in as a game now and with a little bit of work, yeah, I'd I don't think I'd come off a game like that. I'd be on
See,
the
I
hunt
think
for all the weapons.
I would spend absolutely ages trying to get a good weapon. I'd go into a raid with the weapon, die, and that'd be done probably. I'd just get so pissed off.
Mm.
But
But
no, I like
then,
that.
but then
It's a
in
good
that
idea.
case, I guess right in the legend of the weapon, he took it into this raid because you could still have raids in there. There's no reason you can't have raids to get better armor or something. Or you
Hmm.
could even have like legendary knee plates, that saved someone on their last. They killed the boss with 2 HP left, and it's thanks to um, the shielding bonus that these knee plates gave him. Or you lose that in a raid, someone picks it up, they go sell it to make their money, and then you find it in a merchant down the road.
Hmm.
You can buy it back, but it's going to cost you this much money.
Yeah.
Like just them tales of people losing these legendary weapons and then how they get them back or how they don't get them back. I just feel like there'd be a lot of talk on forums and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
who's got my weapon? I'm gonna
It
get
builds
you.
a story, doesn't it, at the end of the
Yeah,
day? It's not just like having the story of what your character's doing, but it's a story of your character.
and every bit of armor and weapon in it potentially if it gets to that level.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many different ways that you could take something like that. Yeah.
That's good. I like that one. So I've got one that I know me and you have spoken about not that long ago, is pirates. Like, I want to, and I'm going to say it, I want an open world pirate game. So, like, I would happily take a game like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, pull out all of the Assassin's Creed stuff, even though I liked it, but pull all of that out, keep the map, keep the way that the ship battles
Yeah.
work,
Hmm.
and make it more of a pirate game. I
Yeah.
think it would be unreal.
So
Going to these different islands looking for booty and just built working on your ship, starting off with no ship at all,
yeah,
having to, I don't know, gamble in a tavern to try and win yourself a ship
get
and a
into
crew.
fights and stuff.
I'm a
Fight in
big
pit
fan
and
of games where you start with nothing and you build it up.
yeah, right.
Um, and I think that would be like a perfect setting to do it on. Plus, you
So
just love pirates.
yeah, pirates and Vikings. Let's go. Um,
Yeah.
so one game like that is the Skull and Bones. I think we spoke
Yeah.
about it. Um, that was shown 6 years ago, 5 years ago. Like genuinely, I think it was about
Still
5
says
years
coming
ago.
soon on Steam.
Still says coming soon. It's still on my wish list.
Yeah,
Still waiting for it. They've got the potential to do a lot.
yeah,
I don't know. I kind of hope that they show up at the PS5 event, and that's the reason that they've delayed it so much and not done
just
anything else.
completely out of
I
nowhere.
just
Bosh is
oh,
Skull and Bones finished, just coming out with the
it's a
console.
launch title. Boom. Oh, by the way, we're doing this special edition PS5 on launch. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like, oh, we'll see.
That'd be good.
But yeah, Skull and Bones still
Yeah.
on my wish list. Where you at,
It's just weird,
Ubisoft?
isn't it? Like
It's-
nowadays, games don't just drop off the face of the planet like that, especially one that was received so well, like that one was.
I mean,
I remember seeing it and I just went nuts.
it had everything that you just discussed. Like,
Yeah,
it was Assassin's Creed Black Flag without the assassins.
yeah,
Like,
which is what we need.
oh, what
I
we
need
want.
some more of that.
We need it.
Yeah.
So you
What
got
you
any
got?
more on your list? That's
Yeah.
me
Oh
done.
well, I
That's
got a
me.
couple of quick ones that I can quickly list off.
Yeah, go for it.
First one, again, I think I've mentioned a couple in this that are already common. But I just want another Age of Empires game.
Yeah.
And I saw rumors that there is going to be an Age of Empires 4.
Yeah.
But it falls back to, again, what I just said, where I like starting with nothing and building it up. Like, Age of Empires will always be one of my favorite games, but I wouldn't consider myself good at it. I just literally turn it on. I'll do the campaign and I'll lose like 4 hours doing one campaign just because I want to start from scratch and just build up this massive army in this massive town. Um, Games like that really relax me. And when I played the Factorio demo the other night, it kind of gave me that little bit of feeling again. And
Yeah.
I don't know
You
when I
felt it in
buy
your
it, I don't
loins.
know if, yeah, I felt it. I don't know when I buy Factorio um, if that's going to do the same thing. I'm just going to lose hours in it, but not be good at it. So we'll soon see. If I buy Factorio, I'll probably do videos on it, so everyone will
Ooh.
get to look at that.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. Another game that I've put down that I'd like to see remade, which I think me and you spoke about before, is Army of Two.
Yeah.
Incredible games.
Just give me a 2-player co-op
Yeah, but like with the depth of that one.
with
So
the
like
depth.
your guy goes down, you can pick him up and drag him along, and he's still shooting at people while you're dragging him.
Yeah.
And even small things like hoisting each other up over walls
Yeah.
is always better when it's like, right, you get up to the wall first, hoist me up, I'll lean back over and pick you up.
Yeah.
Like
I haven't
that
got
kind of it
any
helps
ammo
with
to
the
shoot
co-op.
down. This one's
Yeah,
yours. Like
yeah, exactly. Um, there was that game that came out. I can't remember what it was called. That prison one recently. Is it Way Out? I think
oh
it's a Way
yeah.
Out. Um,
Yeah.
I played that, and that done a lot of the same things, but obviously it's a different type of setting. Whereas Army of Two was just manic,
Yeah.
just two beefy guys armored up to the teeth, just shooting at everything.
Love and life.
Need more of that. Need it.
Yeah. Yeah. Army of Two would be a nice one to have back for sure.
And then one more, and it's got the two words open world in front of it. And it kind of stems off me binge watching Vikings. And it's not going to be a Viking game because I know that's already coming, but
Hmm,
I think a open world medieval setting game would be good.
okay.
Maybe medieval England, anywhere else is fine. But you never really see like medieval England displayed anywhere. You get films about samurais and stuff like that, but it's like
Because we're boring,
imagine an
bud.
open world that was set in England and you've got all these castles everywhere.
Yeah.
Again, you start with you're just a farmer or something,
Yeah.
and you build up to having your own castle and stuff.
So there is a game out there. Oh, it's gonna bug me now. I want to say it is called Ashes of Creation, but I think they changed the way that they were going with their development.
Hmm.
There was a game where you had lives, so you could build your family to be around anything. So you could be a farmer, and you could build up your farm, and then you could pass that character, whether he had or whether they had children or not, would then pass it down to their children. Their children would pick up the stake, and that'd be your next playable character. This is all in
I
third
like the
person.
sound of
It
that.
was like survival style. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be really annoyed because I can guarantee you we're gonna stop recording this and I'll remember what it's called.
Well, stick it in the description, bro.
Description, if I can find
Make
it.
note.
Make
If you can find it, put it in the
got the
description
Sharpie at the ready.
and send it to me because that sounds like the type of game that I could get invested
Name
in.
about generations. That's sure. That'll do. I'll remember that. Yeah, so you could build your character up. You could make him into a knight if you wanted to. You could make him into a farmer, as I said, and then you build up sort of your homestead, pass it on to your offspring, and then that becomes your next playable character. Um, I don't know at what point they got into development with it. You've got a funny feeling it's not Ashes of Creation, though. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe they just changed
So
development a
is
little
it
bit. But it
is it
was
still in development?
Ashes of Creation is. This one, I don't know because I can't remember the name. Chrissy will know as well. Chrissy will
So
know
what's Ashes of
straight
Creation
away.
then? Why is that in your head?
So Ashes of Creation is another. It's a fantasy RPG style game.
Right.
Let me just search this one up quickly. Uh, so it's a MMORPG, and there's it's
Hmm.
like magic, fantasy, all of that kind of stuff. It's because I
Yeah.
watched a live stream on it the other day. Looks like it looks like it could be a really good game when it's released. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. Probably 3-4 years before they
Yeah.
actually even put it into beta. Honestly, um, we'll see. But there's I found it. Chronicles of Illyria. Now,
Chronicles of Illyria.
yeah, but I'm now looking, and there are some pretty controversial videos out there about it. So I'll go onto their website and I'll just read out what it was exactly, what they said it would be. Let's see. So, okay, so quest generated just for your character, a fully destructible environment, closed economy, finite resources and survival elements. Each time you log in, there's something new to do, no daily grind. You've got local, regional, and national conflicts currently unfolding. Means that you get a chance to sort of change that world. You enter Chronicles of Illyria as a member of a player or NPC ran family. You then work your way up from a humble adventurer to a landed vassal, develop your dynasty, and work your way towards king. Not interested in running a kingdom? The fully skill based system and lack of classes means you're rewarded with the ability to create the exact character you want to. So that's what I'm saying. You can take it down any route. You could
Yeah.
say, I'm going to start off in the slums with this NPC run family. Dad's name is Bob and he's a farmer. He goes to the
Hmm.
local market to sell his chickens. And you can say, from here, I am going to make this family name of knights king of this region.
Yeah.
And depending on what you do, I imagine like if this game is going to deliver on it, I imagine it would take. I imagine in real life it would take easily a year or so to get to that point. You know,
Yeah.
you've got to get to the point where you're challenging the king or potentially bedding the king. You know, to then get that
Hmm.
seat, and then you stab the king in the back. It depends what they're doing with it. I'm gonna add a link below because it's been in development since 2000 apparently. So
Since 2000.
yeah, that
And
I'm
is
not
it still in development?
still in development. Yeah, Early development
God.
began in 2000.
Crazy.
So, will that come out? I mean, 20 years down the line, probably not. But
number one, will
it's
it come out? And number two, will it be at the kind of level that we'd want it to be? Like, it sounds really good on paper, but you know that it's probably not going to be.
yeah. So I mean,
But
they got to. It looks
we
like
can
they
see.
got to pre-alpha.
Yeah.
Then there's various videos up now saying that it's a dead game, like completely out of production.
Mm. Well, the thing is, like,
We'll
would a
see.
developer have lasted that for a start?
No, I don't know because I feel like I know the developer that was working on it. I feel like they've worked on some things, but maybe not.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye
Maybe
on
not.
it. You never know.
It's something that we'll try and track. But so it looks like early development started in 2000, but the studio weren't actually made until 2015.
So maybe like
I don't know.
a couple of people working on it in the garage.
I don't know.
We'll keep an eye on it. You never know. It might end up being really good.
It
Might
could
not even
be.
come out.
I mean, like they could be doing it on the next engine for all we know.
Yeah, exactly.
This kind of game wouldn't come to console though. Oh, I'll make that very clear. There's no way they'd be able to run this on console.
No chance.
Man, just way too much. So yeah, that's sort of the type of game that you were then talking
Pretty
about, I
much.
guess.
Yeah.
Imagine like Space Engineers, Farming Simulator, like all of these games just in one. That's pretty much what that was going for, but back in a medieval sort of time.
Yeah.
That'd be dope. That'd be really cool.
It would.
Probably not gonna see it. I rip Chronicles of Valyria. I think I'll just say it. 20 years in development, and you've only just got to pre-alpha. Eesh.
Yeah, it's a bit worrying.
Yeah, it's not ideal. You got any more games down there, or should we?
That's it. That's my list done.
close it
I
up?
am out.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for joining us for the podcast. Just two gamers talking games and hopes and dreams and
That we're all going to be shattered.
Thanks for joining. Again, we're doing the PS5 event live tomorrow. Come stop by. We'll be having the stream up. Follow us on our tweeters, at and then them names up there, as well as at @FYeah_gaming. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for sticking with us, and we will see you on the next episode.
On to the next one.
Adios.
Adios.